Three, two, one. Can you clap? Very good. Okay. Who are you?
My name is Christopher James Parker. I go by Chris pretty much. Everybody knows me as Chris. Um, Nickname is Grandpa. Uh, I've had that since I was 4 years old. And you know how you kind of grow into your name to a degree? Uh, I don't know. Um, I have an old soul, old spirit. I like to do things slowly in my way and very considered and methodical. I don't know. So I've kind of grown into it, even though nobody really calls me that outside of some work colleagues. So that's the name. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 33. My birthday was yesterday. Um, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm from Massachusetts, though I don't really recall it. I left when I was very, very young. Um, I had some years in Tennessee. All of that is a part of me. I'm an artist, a creative, a Renaissance man, I'd say, neo Renaissance man. That's there we go. Yeah.
What was your childhood like? What were some important lessons you learned then that you carry with you today?
My childhood was it's interesting. I my very early childhood, I don't recall having a home. I just remember just like wandering the streets basically and like being homeless or something like that. I remember my first home was in Tennessee. It's on Highland Trace Drive. I went to see it recently. Um and kind of seeing it recently, it kind of reframed a lot of my childhood in a way. Um but I really enjoyed my childhood like quite a bit. Um and I was in a big hurry to grow up when I was younger because I don't know, I thought I'd get more freedom or I don't know. It felt slightly oppressive being a child because nobody takes you seriously. But outside of that, my childhood was really, really, really good, and including the times of strife that we had. I have two brothers. I have three brothers actually, but two of them sort of are still currently in my life. The first one was actually adopted when we were in foster care. That was when I was around 8 years old. We were only in foster care for about 2 years, and during that time, I found God in a way. That was the first time I went to church. And once I got out of foster care, I kind of got way away from Christianity as much as I could because I kind of hated the way that I was introduced to it in a way. Um, and so about 3 years ago, when I turned 30, I actually became a Christian again. So that was kind of a interesting full circle moment for me from childhood. Um, I loved playing with my brothers. I loved playing football. I loved sports. I loved playing video games. Honestly, I just really loved spending time with my family and my friends and just going out to the neighborhood and playing outside and like the neighborhood games of football, throw them up, eat them up, playing basketball with the older kids, not really being able to dribble between my legs. And so I'd have to like turn my whole body to get it through because I was just so tiny. Um, I don't know. It's like when I think about my childhood, I really genuinely only really think about the good times, and there were quite a few of them. Even though my childhood was bad enough for me to get the Gates Millennium Scholarship, which is like it's like a full ride scholarship to PhD or whatever, and they only give it to you if you like had a bad childhood. And so growing up, what I'd realized is just how different my childhood was from most people. Um, And the big thing that I take from my childhood to now, really, it comes from my mom, which is basically keep trying and to like love as much as you can and be an example as much as you can, really. Um, so I try to live that life nowadays, which is to be an example and to try my best every day and to really appreciate pretty much everything that I'm given because nothing is given except it is.
Okay. How does a flower grow?
So, full disclosure, this is my question. I came up with it for the most part. I've not really seen anybody else ask it, so I'm just gonna confirm and say this is my question that I came up with. Um, and the first time I answered it, I said patience, because I felt like that's what I needed in my life, and I sort of equate a flower to a person. Really, is how does a person grow? Um, then I answered fearlessly and free because at that point when I answered it, I was trying to live fearlessly and freely as much as I could in my life. Today, after I've asked that question a few times, I benefit from having seen it a few times. I kind of get to cherry pick my favorite answers, that kind of thing. Um, I'd say two answers were sort of the ones that I kind of really resonate with now. One was from a spiritual guide, or one of my spiritual sort of counselors. And he said intentionally, by design, essentially, nothing in the world is, everything is sort of placed in a very specific way, is kind of how I see it. But I think practically, the way I would answer it is sort of the way my mom answers it is it just does. Like, you can't do nothing about it. It just fucking grows or it doesn't. And so, like a flower doesn't choose its environment per se. It doesn't really um, pick its circumstances, It doesn't pick whether, like one of my favorite poems when I was growing up was a Tupac poem, uh, The Rose That Grew from Concrete. Like that rose did not pick to grow out of concrete. Like a concrete, concrete is not where a rose is meant to grow, but it grew, resilience. And so, but that's for that flower to grow out of concrete. Other flowers that probably tried to grow there probably didn't. So like I lean into that it just does. It just like everything is. It just is. And I appreciate the flower as much as I can while it's still here because flowers die. And so appreciate it while it's here.
Okay. Give me a number between 1 and 100.
29.
Do you believe in second chances? What was the time you gave or denied a second chance?
I'm a firm believer in context. And so, yes, I believe it sometimes. No, I don't other times. And for me, I guess it comes down to sort of what do I want? One. And for me, if I want somebody in my life, if they've harmed me in some way, I probably still keep them in my life because I would want them there. So, like, I don't know. I recently became a Christian, and one of the biggest things I've learned since becoming a Christian is sort of how forgiveness in a way works with God in Christianity, which is it's in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive me my trespasses as I forgive those who have trespassed against me. And now me as sort of a guy that's trying to walk the path of Jesus, if you will, um, I've really learned on a deep level to forgive people and to try to see the person and not the action and understand that I'm not living that person's life. I'm not walking their daily steps. I'm not in their shoes. I'm not having to make everyday choices that they're making. I'm not in their environment. I'm not, and so, in therapy, it would say that it would be like I'm giving people a pass, which I am in a big, serious way, really. But I'm learning to navigate forgiveness in a way that allows me to still have people in my life that I want, but with strong boundaries is kind of how I look at it now. So yes, I forgive. Yes, I take people back into my life time and time again, and just the Jesus way, 7 times 7 or something like that. But at the same time, like if no accountability exists, if no introspection exists, if the person isn't sorry themselves, like forgiveness for me is just for me to move forward in life. And I can do that without people. However, to a great degree, I prefer to try my best to forgive in all circumstances.
Okay, give me another number between 1 and 100.
Let's say 93.
Tell me about the time you were so embarrassed in love you wished you could disappear right then and there.
Hmm. Have I ever been? I don't think I've ever been like embarrassed to love somebody. Um, hmm. I feel like maybe the closest I could come to that, it reminds me of sixth grade. So this is actually a period of homelessness in my life. So we were homeless, living in a like a gym in downtown Atlanta with a bunch of other families, a bunch of other women. And it was like a women and children's shelter. And there was another family there that became sort of a lifelong sort of family connection for my family. And me and their and the little girl and their family, we were sort of together for a second, and we were kind of like hiding our affection as much as we could, given the circumstances and stuff. Of being like, well, I was in like sixth grade or something like that. So like, she gave me my first like French kiss, tongue kiss, that kind of thing. And so like I remember because the adults didn't want us like making out and stuff, and so like we would have to like hide it. And like I had a deep love for her, but I also like broke up with her so I could play Grand Theft Auto. So like a child does what a child does, right?
Okay, give me another number between 1 and 100.
13.
Is it possible to know without a doubt what is good and what is evil? What's your reasoning?
Um, the way my mind works is they're not like I had this whole conversation with a friend about how I don't really believe in facts. Like I can believe in like a 99% fact, right? Something like that. But I don't believe in like 100% fact. And so, wait, what was the question? I'm sorry. I completely spaced for a second.
Is it possible to know without a doubt what is good and what is evil? And what's your reasoning?
Right. Okay, yeah. So, because I kind of live in such a gray area, I personally have this sort of belief that everybody thinks that they're right from their own, because we can only live from our own body. You know, like you cannot experience what it is to be me, and I cannot experience what it is to be you because of like how life works, right? And so, knowing that everybody has a different perspective on what's right and wrong, everybody, I don't, you said 100 Christians in a room, there's still going to be debates on like if there's merit in killing some, you know what I mean? So like, I don't think there's an objective right or wrong per se. Um, what I do believe is at an individual level, yes, I think individually we know what is right or wrong for like the soul that we are, right? Like, you know, when you've done something wrong by how you feel about it. And so, like, if it's a bad feeling from something that you've done, then it's probably bad. But I also subscribe to this philosophy that I got from Eckhart Tolle in his book A New Earth, which is it could be. It's like a dude got in a car accident and they was like, "Oh, that's bad." And he was like, "It could be." And basically because we don't know the results of like something that happens. So something that happens it looks like it's a good thing. A dude wins the lottery, right? It's good. He's got all this money now. Now he's in debt because he spent all his money, and his family hates him because he didn't give them money, and like all these other terrible circumstances arise from this good thing. So is it a good thing? I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of my perspective on it is yes and no.
Okay. How do you find meaning in your daily experience? What propels you through life?
Nowadays, it's it's changed a lot. I don't actually know if I'd have been able to answer that question without the recent experiences that I've had. I think prior to nowish in life, I kind of just kind of woke up because I had to, like wake up because I ain't dead, right? And because I'm here and I wasn't trying to kill myself till a point in my life. Really, I'm past that, but like before that moment in my life, like I really did not want to kill myself or anything, but like I had many unenjoyable moments and all that sort of thing. So I don't really know that I had a true drive in waking up. Um, outside of maybe like like small things like a movie's coming out or like a video game or something. So I have these things that I anticipate, and it's like, damn, I hope I'm alive to see that thing, right? That was kind of how I lived life for a great deal of my life. Nowadays, I've changed a lot of my mentality, and so what wakes me up and gets me going every day really is God and the experience and opportunity to live daily. That's kind of where I'm at now, which is I believe heavily in the power of right now because of momentum and weights of like everything else. So right now, the entirety of everything that's ever happened led to this moment. And right now, the entirety of anything that could ever exist happens from this moment as well. And so leaning into that and leaning into the fact that like I have to live this life as myself unless I just kill myself, which I don't want to do. And so I lean into like, okay, I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy the experience of living. So like let me one seek that every day, every moment, right? And what I found out is seeking God for myself, which I equate to love, seeking love every single moment. That's what wakes me up every day now is the opportunity to love somebody deeply, the opportunity to care for somebody, the opportunity to share a beautiful moment with somebody. Like I've been in a really deep spiritual moment in my life right now. Like I went to a funeral last week and then I celebrate my birthday a week later. And so like I'm navigating seeing death everywhere basically in the death of a moment. And so like because I'm seeing death everywhere and because I understand that nothing lasts forever, I try to appreciate everything as much as I can until I can't.
Um, what has the experience of living been like for you to this point? What can people learn from your life?
The experience of living has been a very human one. um, I've experienced all the emotions. I've seen terrible things. I've seen beautiful things. I've loved deeply. I've been hurt deeply. Um, I've traveled. I've seen life on the other side of the world. Um, like I've cried. I've laughed. You know, I don't know. Is that a standard life? I guess maybe. I don't know. Do we all experience that? I hope we do. At least the good parts. Um, so it's been a good thing for me, generally speaking. It's in the bad times, I'm actually very happy to have gotten through them, to have reached the mentality that I'm at now. Because where I'm at now is again, like I kind of said earlier, is I'm just so much more appreciative of everything. And so going to the second part of that question, I'd say the thing you could learn from me Um, I say you could probably learn a great many things from me, just like I could learn a great many things from you. Um, but the big thing to take away from the experience of life that I've had is to try to love every single moment of it that you can, and to put that into other people as much as you can, because it just makes the whole thing better for everybody. I mean, we all have that deep feeling that the way life is right now is not how it's supposed to be. And so the way I've been living recently is just putting the love that I've been seeking in the world out there into the world as much as I can. And I've just been seeing it come back in so many different ways. And that's been my focus. So takeaway, focus on love, focus on right now, focus on enjoying your life as much as you can and seeking out who you really are in that.
Life is fleeting. We never know when it's our time. If these were your last words ever recorded, what would you say about your life and legacy?
You know, I used to have a deep, deep, deep fear of being forgotten. Like I have abandonment issues from childhood. Go figure, from going into foster care and like, experiencing instability. Um, but it's been such a beautiful life. It really has. And the legacy that I hope to live, or excuse me, that I hope to leave, I feel like I'm still currently working on it for sure. But it really comes down to like daily impact, and like I call it just small effort, right? Which is every person that I come across, I try to be genuinely good to them, genuinely loving to them, and understanding as much as I can. That is genuinely what I hope to be left on an interpersonal level to humanity. It's just the people that have been in my life that have impacted me in beautiful, positive ways. And even if it wasn't a beautiful, positive experience all the time, I'm still very appreciative to have come across you. To my family, I love y'all so, so, so deeply. And I truly just want to see y'all thrive and be happy, with the bottom of my heart. My friends, I don't know that I've appreciated y'all enough. I can say that for my family too. Um, and so, like, I hope the legacy that I leave is that I have appreciated you enough, and that hopefully you appreciated me too. Um, and I would also say that this project that I'm working on, this interview situation, I would consider this a massive aspect of my legacy, um, just in the hopes that it helps connect people in meaningful ways, and to connect people with themselves again, because a lot of people that I've done interviews with are not changed people at the end or anything like that, but like the word hindsight, being self-reflective and just being really aware of the life that you're living and really living intentionally in that, rather than like being a zombie in it. So if I can wake people up to who they are and what they want in life, and the love that is around them that's constantly there if they just embrace it, that would hopefully be my legacy as a human being.
Who are you?
Like I told my therapist the other day, I am a man of God. And like my mother said, I'm a child of God. I am Christopher James Parker, um, and I am love.
Rap.